Niger's new leaders push for Pan-Africanism, sever ties with French organization. In a bold move, Niger's military government, established after a July coup, has announced the suspension of all cooperation with the International Organization of Francophone Nations, OIF. This decision marks a significant step toward severing ties with former colonial power France and embracing Pan-African ideals. The statement issued by the military government criticizes the OIF as a political tool serving French interests, echoing sentiments shared by Mali and Burkina Faso, two other West African nations ruled by the military that have recently taken similar actions against French influence. Niger's decision comes after the OIF suspended the country last week in response to the coup, while attempting to maintain support for civilian programs and democracy restoration efforts. However, the military government sees this move as insufficient and asserts its commitment to forging a new path for Niger, independent of external control. This path includes decolonizing minds and promoting national languages, aligning with the Pan-African vision of continental unity and self-determination. The military government's call for other African nations to follow suit highlights a growing desire for increased cultural and political autonomy within the continent. Meanwhile, the United States, after initially suspending aid to Niger along with other Western allies, has signaled a shift in approach. Washington announced plans to resume security and development cooperation, urging the military government to take steps towards a democratic transition. This move suggests a recognition of the complex realities in Niger, and a willingness to engage with the new government to protect US and Western interests despite the coup. Niger's decision to suspend cooperation with the OIF and its call for Pan-African solidarity mark a significant turning point in the country's relationship with France and its future trajectory. While the path forward remains uncertain, the military government's actions reflect a growing desire for self-reliance and cultural independence within the continent. Historical context. Niger's complex history is deeply intertwined with foreign interference. From the 10th to 19th centuries, regional empires held influence, bringing trade but also instability. In 1899, France colonized Niger, exploiting resources and imposing administrative systems while resistance movements arose. Niger gained independence in 1960 under its first president, though French political and economic control persisted. During the Cold War, Niger became embroiled in US-Soviet proxy conflicts, impacting development. From 1974 to 2010, multiple coups fueled by economic struggles and corruption created instability, until the first democratically elected president Mamadou Issoufou completed his term in 2021. However, disputed elections led military officers to detain Issoufou's successor, paving the way for junta leader Mohamed Bazoum's ascent as civilian president amidst international pressure. Bazoum's presidency remained haunted by the coup. Struggling to address insurgencies, economic woes, and military overreach, his civilian tenure was short-lived. The discovery of uranium deposits in the early 2000s heightened international interest. It initially brought influxes of foreign investment and temporary economic growth. However, this also raised concerns about resource exploitation and environmental damage. Niger continued to face threats from Islamist militancy in the region. The military, which assumed power in July 2023, is dedicated to reclaiming full control and restoring autonomy and pride to this esteemed African nation, by aligning with Pan-African values. What is your perspective on their decision to withdraw from the International Organization of Francophone Nations, OIF, and encourage other African nations to do the same? Do you share the belief that the OIF serves as a colonial instrument? Regarding the United States' recent overture to collaborate with the Niger government, do you perceive it as genuine or potentially aimed at destabilization to reinstate French influence and resume customary business practices? Should the military request the closure of the US military base in Niger? Share your insights to contribute to the dialogue, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to Kilimanjaro News Network, the authentic voice of Africa. Kilimanjaro News Network broadcasts in Swahili, Arabic, English, and French.